I am going to teach you third term, first lesson, ratio. I will explain this lesson in two parts. In this part, I will explain the lesson up to exercise 21.2. While explaining this lesson in English medium, I will explain some part of this lesson in Sinhala also. So I think it will be help to understand this lesson very easily. While watching this video, please try to complete the exercises given in your textbook. Let's start our lesson.
Now I will explain lesson number 21, ratios in grade 7. What is a ratio? Ratio is a numerical relationship between two or more quantities. When we are analyzing ratio, there should be two or more quantities, and here we consider only about numerical relationship. Look at this example. Here they have given two types of apples, green apples and red apples. How many green apples are there? 3. How many red apples? Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 red apples. Then here we want to identify ratio in between these two quantities. අපිට දැන් මෙතනදී ඕනි මේ දීලා තියෙන quantities දෙක අතර ratio එක. Here we consider only about numerical relationship. Numerical relationship කියන්නේ සංඛ්‍යාත්මක සම්බන්ධතාවය. එහෙමනම් how many green apples? Green apples තියෙනවා 3ක් and red apples 9. These are the amounts given in green apples and red apples. Now we want to represent ratio in between these two quantities. Then here 3, here 9. If we want to represent ratio, then we want to put this symbol. Here we use double dots. Then this is the numerical relationship in between these two quantities. This is the ratio of green apples to red apples. මෙතන තියෙනවා කොළ පාට ඇපල් 3කට රතු පාට ඇපල් 9ක්. ඒක තමයි මේ දීලා තියෙන අනුපාතය. Now look at this example. Here you have given red circles and blue rectangles. How many circles are there? 6. How many rectangles are there? It's 8. Then what is the ratio in between these two quantities? Here 6, here 8. If we want to indicate the ratio, we want to put double dot. Then how will you read this amount? We can read it as 6 to 8, 6 to 8. If not, 6 is to 8. 6 is to 8. ආකාර දෙකක් තියෙනවා මේ ලියන අනුපාතය කියවන එක විදිහක් තමයි. You can read it as 6 to 8. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ඔයාලට කියන්න පුළුවන් 6 is to 8. Now we will see the second example. Here there's only one child and 4 books. Then this is the ratio in between these two. Then how we can read this ratio? 1 to 4. If not, 1 is to 4. 1 to 4. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් 1 is to 4. Now we will see what are the characteristics of ratios. This is the first one. All the quantities should be taken in the same units. Here, given quantities should be measured in same units. එකම ජාතිය ඒකකයකින් තමයි දීලා තියෙන quantities ඔක්කොම measure කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Sometimes there may be different units in given quantities. Then we can't find ratios. There's another term, rates. If the given quantities measured in different units, we can't find ratios, but we can find rates. Rates කියලා කියන්නේ අනුපාතික. You have learned ratios as well as rates in grade 6. Here we consider only ratios. Then if we want to find the ratios in between given amounts, these quantities should be measured in same units. අපිට ඕනේ අනුපාතය නම් හොයන්න ඒ දීලා තියෙන ප්‍රමාණයන් එකම ඒකකයකින් මැනලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. As an example, if the given quantity is measured in liters and kilograms, then you can't find ratios in between that two quantities. ඒ වගේ අවස්ථාවකදී අපිට ඒ දෙක අතර රේෂියෝ එකක් හොයන්න බෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලට දීලා තියෙන ප්‍රමාණයන් ලීටර් සහ කිලෝග්‍රෑම් වලින් නම් මෙෂර් කරන. ඒ කියන්නේ උදාහරණයක් විදිහට වතුර ලීටර් එකකුයි කිරිපිටි ග්‍රෑම් 500කුයි දීලා ඔයාලට රේෂියෝ එක හොයන්න කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙමනම් ඔයාලගෙන් අහන්නේ rates කියලා. අනුපාත ටික ගැනයි එතකොට ඒ අහන්නේ. අපි බලමු දෙවෙනි එක. There is no units mentioning when writing a ratio. The given quantity should be measured in same units, but when we are writing ratio, we are not using these units. We are not mentioning units. Third one, write it in the simplest form. The given ratio should be written in simplest form. දීලා තියෙන අනුපාතය අපි ලියන අනුපාතය සරලම අයුරින් ලියන්න ඕනේ. Now look at this third example. Here the given quantities are fruit juice and water. මේ දෙක තමයි දීලා තියෙන ප්‍රමාණ දෙක. These two quantities are measured in same units. Fruit juice also measured in liters. Water is also measured in liters. Then we can keep the ratio in between fruit juice and water. We can write it like this. Here total amount of fruit juice is 2 liters. Here 3 liters. When we are writing ratio, we are not mentioning these units. Then 2 is to 3. 2 is to 3. If not, you can read it as 2 to 3. This is the ratio in between fruit juice and water. Fourth example. Here you have given 4 kilogram of rice and 400 gram of green grams. Now look at these two units. Rice measured in kilograms, green gram measured in grams. Then these two units are in different form. Then as the first step, we want to convert this amount into gram. You can convert 4 kilogram into gram by multiplying. අපිට පුළුවන් මෙතන දීලා තියෙන කිලෝග්‍රෑම් ප්‍රමාණයත් ග්‍රෑම් කරගන්න. එතකොට ඔයාලට එනවා quantities දෙකම එකම ඒකකයකින්. By multiplying 1000, here you get the answer as 4000 gram. Here 400 gram. Then we can write the ratio in between rice and green gram. 4000 to 400. When we are writing ratio, it should be in simplest form. Then we can divide these two values by 100. මේ දෙකම අපිට 100ෙන් බෙදන්න පුළුවන් නේද? ඔන්න මම 100ෙන් බෙදුවා. Here 4, here 40. Again we can divide. This is not the simplest form. We can divide these two values by 4. අපිට මේ දෙකම 4ෙන් බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. ඔන්න එතකොට ඔයාලට ආන්සර් එක එනවා 10 to 1. This is the simplest form of these two quantities. Now we will see the meaning of terms of ratio. අනුපාතයක පද කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා බලමු. දැන් ඔන්න අපි බලමු මේ තියෙන example එක. Fruit juice and water. What is the ratio in between these two? 2 to 3. Then 2 and 3 are terms of this ratio. මෙන්න මේ 2 සහ 3 කියන සංඛ්‍යා දෙක තමයි මේ අනුපාතයේ පද වෙන්නේ. 2 and 3 are the terms of this ratio. Then here 3 quantities are given: cement, sand and granite. Then what is the ratio in between these three amount? 1:3:4. 1 to 3 to 4. Then what are the terms? 1, 3 and 4. Here you can identify 3 terms. In this example only 2 terms. මෙතන තියෙනවා පද දෙකක්. මේ උදාහරණයේදී පද දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මේ උදාහරණය ගත්තාම there you can identify 3 terms: 1, 3 and 4. එතකොට terms කියන්නේ මේ තියෙන ratio එකේ මේ දීලා තියෙන සංඛ්‍යාවලට. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ 2 සහ 3. එහෙමනම් මේ 2 සහ 3 තමයි මේ example එකට අනුව මේ අනුපාතයේ පද වෙන්නේ. These are the terms of this example. Here 1, 3 and 4 are the terms of this second example. Now we will try to identify what are the equivalent ratios. තුල්්‍ය අනුපාත. Equivalent ratios that have the same value. Look at this first example. Here 2 to 1. By multiplying these two values by 2, you can get 4 to 2. Here this is the method. You can multiply these two terms by 2. 2 into 2 to 2 into 1. Both sides should be multiplied by same value. අපි දැන් මෙතනදී මේ පැති දෙකම එකම සංඛ්‍යාවකින් තමයි ගුණ කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් දෙකෙන් ගුණ කරා නම් ඔයාලට එනවා 4:2. You can multiply this both side by any number. 2:1 කියන එක ඔයාලට ඕනෙම සංඛ්‍යාවකින් multiply කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක අපි 3ෙන් ගුණ කෙරුවොත්. Then what is the answer? 3 into 2, 6. And here 3. මේ තියෙන්නේ 6 to 3. Likewise, you can get the equivalent ratios by multiplying. And also there's another method. By dividing also you can get the equivalent ratios. When you are finding the simplest form, you have to divide. Here this is the given ratio, 12 to 8. Then here we want to find the equivalent ratio by dividing. Here these two terms are divisible by 2. මේ දෙපැත්තම බෙදෙන්න ඕනේ. We can divide these two values by 2. Then here this is the answer, 6:4. You can find another equivalent ratio for this one by dividing these two values by 4 also. Here 12:8. We can divide both values by 4. 12 divided by 4, what is the answer? 3. Then here 2. 3:2. Then this is also an equivalent ratio of this one, 12:8. එහෙමනම් මේ 3:2 කියන ratio එක මෙයාගේ equivalent ratio එකක් වෙනවා. Likewise, you can find equivalent ratios by dividing or by multiplying. Okay, now try to write the equivalent ratio of these two examples. Now we will try to find the equivalent ratio for these given examples. Look at the first one. 1:3:4. I told you earlier there are two methods to find equivalent ratios. What are they? By dividing or by multiplying. Here, can we divide these three values by any other whole number except 1? එක හැර වෙනත් පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යාවකින් මේ තුනම බෙදන්න පුළුවන්ද අපිට? No, we can't. Then we can't apply dividing method for this ratio. අපිට මේ ratio එකට dividing method එක apply කරන්න බැහැ. මොකද මේ තියෙන numbers තුන බෙදෙන්නේ නැති නිසා. But we can apply multiplying method. You can find equivalent ratio by multiplying any other whole number except 1. එකෙන් ගුණ කිරීමෙන් හැර වෙනත් ඕනෑම පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යාවකින් ගුණ කරලා ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේකට සමාන වෙනත් තුල්‍ය අනුපාතයක් හොයාගන්න. If we multiply by 2, we want to multiply these three terms by 2. Here 2 is to 6 is to 8. If not, you can use any other whole numbers. ඔයාලට කැමති ඕනෙම whole number එකක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then 2 is to 6 is to 8 is an equivalent ratio for these values. Look at the second one, 20 to 24. Are there common factors for these two values? Yes. මේවට පොදු factors තියෙනවා. 2 is also common, 4 is also common. Then you can divide these two values by 2 as well as 4 also. If we divide these two values by 2, then what is the equivalent ratio? 10 is to 12. If we divide by 4, then 5 is to 6. Then these are two equivalent ratios for this ratio. If not, you can multiply these two values by any other whole number except 1. අපි එකෙන් ගුණ කරොත් එන්නේ නැවතත් ඒ පිළිතුරමනේ. ඒ නිසා එක හැර වෙනත් පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යාවකින් ගුණ කරලත් ඔයාලට මේ අවස්ථාවේදී equivalent ratio එකක් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. Next we will see how to find the simplest form of a given ratio. As the first step, you want to check whether the terms have common factors. Common factors තියනවාද කියලා බලන්න. If the terms have common factors, you want to find the highest common factor of the given terms. Look at this example. 8 is to 4 is to 12. We want to find the simplest form. Are there common factors? Yes, there are common factors. පොදු සාධක තියෙනවා. එහෙමනම් අපි මෙතෙන්දී මුලින්ම හොයන්න ඕනේ මේ තුනට අදාළව highest common factor එක. 8, 4, 12. If we want to find the highest common factor, we want to divide these three values by prime numbers. As well as these three numbers should be divisible by that selected prime number. අපි මෙතනදී තෝරගන්න prime number එකෙන් මේ තියෙන තුනම බෙදෙන්න ඕනේ. If we select 2, මේ තුන් දෙනාම බෙදෙනවා නේද? Are they divisible by 2? Yes. Then we can select as the first divisor as 2. 4, 2 and 6. Again we can divide these three values by 2. 2, 1, 3. Are they divisible by any other prime number? No. Then HCF is equal product of these two values. 2 into 2, 4. Then what we want to do here? We want to divide these values, these terms by 4. මේ දීලා තියෙන පද අපි 4ෙන් බෙදන්න ඕනේ. 8 divide by 4, 4 divide by 4, 12 divide by 4. මෙතන එතකොට එනවා 2 is to 1 is to 3. Then this is the simplest form of this ratio. Is it clear? ඔයාලට තේරුණා නේද? If we want to find the simplest form, firstly we want to identify are there common factors. Then if there's common factors, we want to find the HCF. Then we want to divide the terms of the ratio by HCF. Okay, now look at the second example. Here you have given a triangle with side lengths 8 cm, 6 cm and 5 mm and 50 mm. Then I told you there should be similar units, but here it's different, centimeters and millimeters. Then we want to convert this amount into millimeters. 8 centimeter, 6 centimeter and 5 millimeter and 50 millimeters. As the first step, we want to convert this amount into a similar units. Then here, how many millimeters in 1 centimeter? 10 millimeters. Then we want to multiply 8 by 10, 80 millimeters. Here 60 millimeters and 5, 65 millimeters. Here 50 millimeters. Now you can keep the ratio as 80 to 65 to 50. Then we want to keep this ratio in its simplest form. Then we want to find the HCF. What is the highest common factor of these three values? Here we can divide these three values by 5. These three numbers are divisible by 5. පහෙන් බෙදෙනවා. Then here 16, here 13, here 10. Can we divide this part again? ආයි නැවත බෙදෙනවද මේ numbers තුනම එකම සංඛ්‍යාවකින්? නැහැනේ. එහෙමනම් HCF is equal 5. Then we want to divide this amount by 5. Then what is the simplest form? 16 is to 13 is to 10. This is the simplest form. මම හිතනවා දැන් ඔයාලට මේ ගණන් හදන විදිහ තේරුණා කියලා. Now we will see exercise 21.1. Write down the ratio for each of the following examples and express it in the simplest form. You want to write the ratio as well as its simplest form. Okay. First question, first part. The number of boys in a class 20, number of girls 25. Then what is the ratio? 20 to 25. And we want to find the simplest form. Then what is the HCF of these two values? It's 5. We want to divide these two values by 5. Then this is the simplest form. Second one, the price of pen 15, pencil 10, eraser 5. The ratio is equal 15 to 10 to 5. පිළිවෙලින් ඕනේ ලියන්න. මේ පිළිවෙල මාරු කරන්න එපා. මේ තියෙන පිළිවෙලටමයි මම ලියන්නේ. Then we want to divide these three values by HCF. HCF is equal, you know, it's 5. 3, 2, 1. ඔයාලට එකපාරටම highest common factor එක 5 කියලා පේන්නේ නැත්නම් පැත්තක බෙදලා HCF එක හොයාගන්න. Then after that you can divide. Third part. Ingredients for cake: 1 kilogram flour, 500 gram sugar and 500 gram margarine. Then here the mass given in two different units. We want to convert these units into a similar units. එකම ಜಾති එකකයකට අපි convert කරන්න ඕනේ. Here we can convert amount of flour. We can convert amount of flour into gram as 1000 gram. Then ratio is 1000 to 500 to 500. Then here HCF is equal 500. Then this is the simplest form. Fourth one, the price of a mandarin is P rupees. The price of an orange is Q rupees. And price of an apple is R rupees. Then here they have given the value in algebraic symbols. So we can write the ratio as P is to Q is to R. I think you can complete second one and third one. Look at the fourth one. Here they have given the side length of this triangle 7 centimeter, 50 millimeter and 6 centimeter and 5 millimeter. Here you can see two different units, centimeter and millimeter. Then you want to convert these units into a similar one. It means you can convert centimeters into millimeters. How many millimeters in 1 centimeter? Can you remind how many millimeters in 1 centimeter? It's 10. Then here 70 millimeters, Here it's okay, 50 millimeters. Here 60 millimeter and 5 millimeter. Total value is 65 millimeter. Now I think you can get the ratio in between these three sides and you can find the simplest form. Now we will see the second part of this lesson, dividing in a ratio. Under this section, this is the first part, dividing a given quantity in a ratio. This is the example given. Here there's 10 liters of fruit drink. We want to divide the given amount under this ratio 2 to 3. There should be 2 parts of fruit juice and 3 parts of water. This is the given ratio and this is the given amount, total amount. Can you tell me what is the total number of parts? Here 2 parts of fruit juice and 3 parts of water. Then total number of parts means 2 plus 3 is equal 5. Then this 5 parts dissolved in this whole amount. මේ කොටස් පහම මේ සම්පූර්ණ drink එකේ dissolve වෙලායි තියෙන්නේ. එහෙමනම් number of parts dissolved in 10 liters is equal 5 liters. Then volume of 5 parts is equal volume of 5 parts is equal 10 liters. Is it understood? ඒක ඔයාලට තේරුණාද? Here 2 parts of fruit juice and 3 parts of water. Then total number of parts is equal 5. This 5 parts dissolved in 10 liters. Then volume of 5 parts is equal 10 liter. මේ කොටස් පහම දී වෙලා තියෙන පරිමාව 10 liter. Then can you tell me volume of one part? එක කොටසකට අදාළ පරිමාව කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? What we want to do here? We want to divide this amount by 5. Then it is equal 2 liters. Now you know volume of one part. Here 2 parts, here 3 parts. Then බැරිද ඔයාලට fruit juice ප්‍රමාණය හොයන්න මේකේ dissolve වෙලා තියෙන? How we can find it? Here parts of fruit juice is equal to. If you know one part is equal to 2 liter, then parts of fruit juice is equal to, then volume of fruit juice. What is the volume? If one part is equal to, then 2 parts is equal 4 liters. Likewise, you can find the volume of water also. Parts of water is equal 3. Then volume of water is equal, if one part is equal 2 liter, 3 part is equal 6 liter. We want to multiply. ඔයාලට පැහැදිලිද පුතේ? දැන් බලන්නකෝ, fruit juice තියෙනවා කොටස් දෙකක්, water තියෙනවා කොටස් තුනක්. එහෙමනම් ඔක්කොම කොටස් ගණන කොටස් 5යි. This total number of parts dissolved in 10 liter. මේ කොටස් පහටම අදාළ volume එක වෙන්නේ 10 liters. Then volume of one part is equal 2 liters. කොටස් පහක් දී වෙලා තියෙන ලීටර් 10ක නම් එක කොටසක හොයන්න බෙදන්නයි ඕනේ. එහෙමනම් 2 liters. If you know the volume of one part as 2 liter, then you can find volume of 2 parts by multiplying 2 liters into 2. Then here 4 liters and here 3 parts. One part is equal 2 liter, then 3 part is equal 6 liter. මේ විදිහට ගුණ කරලා තමයි හොයාගන්නේ. එක කොටසක් ලීටර් 2යි නම් කොටස් දෙකක් 4යි. එක කොටසක් ලීටර් 2 වෙද්දි කොටස් 3ක් ලීටර් 6යි. තේරුණාද? දැන් ඔයාලට මෙතන දීලා තිබුණේ මේ total volume එක. මේ total volume එකට අදාළ total number of parts ගණන වෙන්නේ 5යි. මේ 5ට අදාළව තමයි ලීටර් 10 තිබුණේ. එතනින් තමයි අපි ගාන පටන් ගන්නෙ. මං හිතනවා ඔයාලට පැහැදිලි ඇති කියලා. අපි බලමු මේ example එක. Here cement, sand and granite. ඔය විදිහට දීලා තියෙනවා concrete mixture එක. Ratio is given as 1:3:4. Find the quantities of cement, sand and granite in 16 cubic meters of concrete. මේ තුන එකතු කරලා හදන සම්පූර්ණ කොන්ක්‍රීට් මිශ්‍රණය තියෙනවා 16 cubic centimeter. cubic centimeter කියන්නේ මේ උඩින් 3 ඝන සෙන්ටිමීටර් 3 කියලා දාන අවස්ථාව. cubic centimeter. It's a units of volume. පරිමාණන ඒකකයක්නේ cubic centimeter. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ total volume එක. This is the total volume. Then what is the total number of parts? This total volume related with the total number of parts. Now you want to find the total number of parts. ඔයාලා හොයාගන්න ඕනේ මේකේ තියෙන total number of parts. ඔක්කොම parts ගණන. 1 plus 3 plus 4 is equal 8. Then these 8 parts in 16 cubic centimeter. අපිට ඒක මේ විදිහට ලියන්න පුළුවන්. size of 8 parts. If not, volume of 8 parts, 16 cubic centimeter. Then size of 1 part. If you know the total number of parts in total volume, you can find 1 part by dividing 16 dividing by 8. Here 2 cubic centimeter. If you know the volume of 1 part, size of 1 part, then you can find the amount of cement, amount of sand and amount of granite, because you know here 1 part, here 3 parts, here 4 parts. Then size of cement. 1 part is equal 2 cubic centimeter. Then for the cement there's only 1 part. Then we want to multiply this amount by 1. Then answer is 2 cubic centimeter. Then size of sand, we want to multiply this amount by 3 because here 3 parts. 6 cubic centimeter. Then for granite, we want to multiply this volume by 4 because here 4 parts. Then answer is 8 cubic centimeter. If your answer is correct, total volume of these three should be equal to 16 cubic centimeter. බලන්නකෝ උත්තරේ එනවා නේද කියලා. Look at this second example. Ingredients to make 3 kg of cake. Total mass එක දෙනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ 3 kg of cake. Butter, sugar and flour. Butter, sugar and flour. 1:2:3. This is the ratio in between these three amount. Find the mass of each ingredient in the cake. Then total mass of this cake. මේ කේක් එක කියලා හිතමුකෝ. මේ කේක් එකේ mass එක total mass එක තමයි 3 kg වෙන්නේ. එතකොට how many parts in this whole amount? Here we want to find the whole amount. 1 plus 2 plus 3. It is equal 6 parts. Then 6 parts in 3 kg. Then what is the mass of 1 part? අපි ඒක මෙහෙම ලියමු මුලින්ම. Mass of 6 parts is equal 3 kilogram. Then mass of 1 part. අපි හැම වෙලේම එක කොටසක් තමයි හොයන්නේ. Then we want to divide this amount by 6. දැන් ඔන්න මෙතෙන්දී ඔයාලට මේක divide කරපුවාම එන්නේ fraction එකක් නිසා ඔයාලට පහසුයි මේක gram කරගෙන divide කරා නම්. Then what we want to do here? We want to multiply this 3 by 1000. Then 3000 divided by 6. Then what is the answer? This is in grams. Then you can get the answer as 500 gram. එහෙමනම් එක කොටසකට අදාළ mass එක වෙන්නේ 500 gram. Now you can find the mass of butter, mass of sugar as well as mass of flour. How we can find these three values? Now you know mass of one part. ඔයාලා දන්නවා දැන් එක කොටසකට අදාළ ස්කන්ධය. එහෙමනම් බටර් තියෙන්නේ කොහොමත් එක කොටසයි. එහෙමනම් අපි මෙතන ලියමු mass of butter 500 gram multiplied by 1. Answer is same. Answer is 500 gram. Mass of sugar. Mass of sugar. We want to multiply 500 gram by then equal sign එක by 2. වැඩි කරන්න ඕනේ දෙකෙන්. එතකොට එනවා 1000 gram. 1000 gram කියන්නේ 1 kilogram. And mass of flour 3 parts. Then 1 part is equal 500 gram. We want to multiply this value by 3. එතකොට ඔයාලට answer කියනවා 1.5 kilogram. දැන් බලමු ඔයාලට මේ exercise එක පුළුවන්ද කියලා. 1500 rupees was divided between Sumudu and Kumudu. The ratio is given as 2 to 3. Find the amount each received. එක එක්කෙනාට ලැබුණු මුදල තමයි අහන්නේ. Total amount එක 1500. Here there are two persons, Sumudu and Kumudu. 2 to 3. Then here this is the total amount. Then what is the total number of parts here? 2 plus 3. එහෙමනම් කොටස් පහක් තියෙනවා මේක ඇතුලේ. 5 parts is equal 1500. එහෙමනම් එක කොටසකට අදාළව what is the value of one part? Here value of 5 parts. ඔයාලා ගැලපෙන විදිහට වගන්ති හදන්න. Value of one part is equal 1500 divided by 5. එතකොට එනවා එක කොටසකට අදාළ මුදල. කීයද එන්නේ? 300 rupees. If you know the value of one part, you can find the value of two parts. It means the amount received by Sumudu. එහෙමනම් අපි ලියනවා amount received by Sumudu is equal 300 rupees. 300 rupees multiplied by 2. එතකොට එනවා එයාට කීයද? 600 rupees. Then amount received by Kumudu. What we want to do here? One part is equal 300. Kumudu has 3 parts. එතකොට කීයද එන්නේ? 900 rupees. පැහැදිලි නේද පුතේ? බලන්න second question එක. Copper is added to gold in gold jewelry such that the ratio of copper to gold, copper and gold 1:11. Find the mass of gold and copper needed to make a necklace of කොච්චරකද 60 grams. මේ necklace එකේ බර තියෙනවා gram 60. Then one part is to 11 part. What is the number of total part? Total amount. It's equal 1 plus 11. It means 12. Then 12 parts. This is the total number of parts. This total number of parts in 60 gram. මේ ඔක්කොම කොටස් ප්‍රමාණය තියෙන්නේ මේ සම්පූර්ණ ස්කන්ධය තුල. එහෙමනම් දැන් කොටස් 12ක් නෙමේ ග්‍රෑම් 60ට සමාන වෙන්නේ. එක කොටසකට අදාළ වැලියු එක කොච්චරද? ඔන්න මම ලියනවා mass of 12 parts. මොකක්ද එන්නේ? mass of 12 parts is equal 60 gram. ඊළඟට මම හොයන්නේ mass of 1 part. එක කොටසකට අදාළ ස්කන්ධය හොයන්න මේක divide කරනවා 12න්. answer එක එනවා 5 gram කියලා. දැන් පුළුවන් නේද ඔයාලට හදන්න? If you know the value of one part, then you can find these two amounts separately. Then mass of copper. One part is equal 5 gram. Here also one part. Then we want to multiply by 1. Answer is 5 gram. Then mass of gold. One part is equal 5 gram. Here 11 parts. 5 into 11 55. දැන් මේ දෙන අපහු එකතු කරාමත් ඔයාලට මේ පිළිතුර ලැබෙනවා. එහෙමනම් ඔයාලගේ answer එක හරි. අපි තවත් එක ගානක් බලමු. The ratio of boys to girl. Boys to girl 5 is to 4. If the total number of student on a total number එක දීලා තියෙනවා 1800. Find the number of boys and the number of girls there are in the school. දැන් මෙතනදිත් මේ තියෙන්නේ කොටස් වලින් අපි කියද්දි මෙතන කොටස් 5කට කොටස් 4යි. එහෙමනම් total number of parts එනවා 5 plus 4 9. Then this total number of parts in 1800. මේ කොටස් 9ට අදාළ value එක වෙන්නේ 1800. අපි මේ විදිහට වගන්තිය හදා ගන්නවා number of students in 9 parts 1800. එහෙමනම් number of students in one part මේක මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? 1800 divide by 9 200. එක කොටසකට අදාළව ඉන්නවා 200ක්. එහෙමනම් අපිට number of boys හොයන්න. number of boys 200 multiply කරන්න ඕනේ කීයෙන්ද? 5න්. එහෙමනම් number of boys එනවා 1000 කියලා. ඒ විදිහටම number of girls you can find this answer by multiplying here 4. Then 800. If you add these two values together, again you can get the total number of students in this school. මං හිතනවා ඔයාලට ඉතුරු ගණන් ටික complete කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.